Welcome friends to another r/malicious compliance video. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Our first story of the day is by Dumb Stupid Idiot. I bent the rules and gave you a $50 discount and you're still not happy? Enjoy the $15 one instead that you were initially meant to get. I used to work at a call center for a large Canadian telecommunications company. They're a service provider for TV, internet, home phones, and cell phones. I was a customer care agent, and at the time I was working in the end of promotions department. I'd be the person you speak with when your 1 or 2 year discount was set to expire. I'd been through so many different departments before I was moved to the end of promotion team, so I had access to multiple discounts a regular care agent wouldn't have access to because they never changed my authorization when I was moved to my new department. This allowed me to bend the rules quite a bit when it came to renewing promotions for some customers. Now, most care agents have limited discounts they can give. Typically, the system would generate a discount for a customer's account based on their tenure in services with us. That's what the company claimed, which I find to be BS, as I've seen accounts that were created back in 1999 that would be tagged for only $10 off, and sometimes nothing at all, and they would have to pay in-market rates. This is where my access level came in handy. If I spoke with a customer who was super polite and gave me no trouble or stress, I would apply a better discount than what was originally tagged, especially if I see they've been with us for years and even sometimes decades. Example, tagged for $20 off, I'll give $35 or $40 off instead. Now, the company always claimed they keep track if we applied discounts that a customer wouldn't be eligible for, but I think this was also BS because I did this to many accounts and it never came up during meetings with my manager. So one day I get a call, a customer that's been with the company for a year or two. Let's call him Mark. So Mark's promotion is coming up to an end pretty soon, and he's looking to get a new one and at the same time upgrade his services. He was on a mid-tier TV package and had 500 megabytes per second unlimited internet. If I recall, he was probably paying around $140 a month. He wanted to move up to our highest TV package and our gigabit internet plan, which is the highest you can get for both TV and internet with this company. And this said company is not a budget service provider, so typically that combination of products would cost around $180 before taxes, and the price just climbs up depending on how many boxes you have for the TV, if you have a home phone, and if you have any extra TV add-ons. So I tell him I'll gladly look into it and place him on hold. Since he was very polite and I was in a good mood, I was happy to bend the rules for him, especially after seeing he was only tagged for a $15 discount. He had a $25 discount before, so he would have been paying $10 more if he wanted to keep his services the same, and definitely a whole lot more if he upgraded to the highest packages. So eventually I come back to him with a $50 discount for 1 year. You'll still be paying more for making that change, but it's a whole lot better than $15 off that he was supposed to get initially. Now all of a sudden, his attitude and tone does a complete 180. He starts getting angry and starts getting rude. He was talking as if he thought I was joking when I said $50 is the most we could give him. He went on a rant about how he's been with us for so many years and how he deserves to pay less than what he was paying before, and on top of that get upgraded services. I explained that unfortunately because he was upgrading to our highest packages, that the increase in price is inevitable. I informed him that if he wanted to, this same discount could be applied to his current services and he'd be saving $25 more than what he'd been paying. Then he pulls the same card I hear so often like, "Well, my friend has that package and is only paying $80. Or, "I see newer customers getting it for so much less." Which in most cases, sure, it can happen. But with the combination of products he has, I know 100% he was just pulling those prices out of his butt. He got angrier and was demanding that he gets a better discount, and on top of that, he wanted the Crave/Movie/HBO add-on, cost $20, for free for a year on top of that for wasting his time. I start to get frustrated and explain once again that it's not something we can do and the $50 is the best we can offer. He asks to speak to retention, which at the time was the end of promotion department, and I explain that he's already speaking with them. He starts to lose it and says he wants to speak to a manager because he wants to pay what he feels like he should pay based on his tenure. which again was only around 2 years, which may seem like a long time, but in this kind of an industry, it doesn't mean much. We do have a dedicated team of managers that take calls when a customer is going ape crap. Their primary goal is just to defuse the situation, but they're not there to give better discounts if we already went through the best options, and they always made that very clear. I explained that a manager can't provide a better discount, but I can still transfer him to one, as it is company policy to get them a manager if they request one, no matter what. So I place him on hold, and what we do is speak to the manager on the line first to explain the situation and the options we as an agent went through before escalating, and then they take the call from there. Usually you're supposed to disconnect from the call once you patch the customer through, but sometimes I like to stick around and mute myself just to listen to the manager tell the customer the exact same thing I already told them. Their reactions are usually priceless. So I explained to the manager, we'll call him Fred, that I already offered the customer a way better discount than what we had before. I was worried they would question why or how I gave them more than what we were tagged for, but this manager didn't seem to care. I explained that he now wanted to pay less than what he used to pay while upgrading to our highest package, and now on top of that have a $20 add-on given to him for free for a year. Fred scoffs because they understood how ridiculous that was and told me to patch him through. I add Mark to the call, introduce him to Fred, and explain they'll take the call from there. Now, all of a sudden he's acting very polite again and says, "Oh, thank you so much, OP. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care." And continues this act while he talks to the manager, as if he wasn't just screaming at the top of his lungs at me moments ago. I stick around to hear how the conversation plays out. Fred does a quick rundown of what Mark was asking us to do just to make sure nothing was missed, and Mark says, "Yep, that all sounds right to me." Then Fred pretty much tells him what he's asking for cannot be done, and that I already offered the best discount we can provide, and explained that most customers pay way more for what he's being upgraded to. He starts getting angry again and starts yelling that he's being mistreated as a long-term customer, and is threatening to cancel all of his services with us and move to a competitor. Fred says he's sorry he feels that way, and that if he would like, they can start the cancellation procedure for him. Mark had enough and hung up right after. I got a kick from hearing that and went on with my day. A month goes by, I'm taking calls and having a good day. It's slow, not a lot of callers, but the ones I do get have been nice. And suddenly a call comes in. The account pops up, I do a quick look over the account summary and see the customer's name. It looks familiar. I check the account's previous interactions and see mine and Fred's from a month ago. A big smile goes across my face as I'm speaking to none other than Mark, calling us back again. Now this kind of thing is rare. With a company this big, we typically have a lot of callers and a lot of employees, so it's extremely uncommon that I speak to the same person more than once. I'm thinking because it was a slow day, they had given early leave to the agents who wanted it, so there must not have been a lot of agents online taking calls, thus having this call routed to me since I was available. I do the standard greeting, "Thank you for calling, how can I help?" But on the inside, I've got a poop-eating grin on my face because I know he's most likely calling back because his discount had expired and his price had gone up. He's either trying to cancel or try and get a discount again. I was right on the nose with that one. He calls saying that his discount has expired and he's looking to get a new one. Now Mark didn't seem to recognize that he was talking to me again. He thought I was just a different agent because he mentioned he was given an offer from someone about a month ago that he was looking to accept. Here's where the malicious compliance comes in. As per our last call, you said you wanted a discount based off your tenure? Sure thing. As a matter of fact, the system has already generated a whopping $15 off based on that. I explained that unfortunately, because he's calling after his discount has ended, the original discount we had offered is now expired, and now we only have a $15 discount available. He starts to lose it again. Now, in some cases this actually does happen, where if a discount isn't accepted before the other one expires, the new offer also expires and can't be added. I can agree it's some slimy stuff that this company does so they get more money. In this case, because the original $50 discount was never supposed to be given in the first place, I was able to see this and only offer what he was really tagged for. Once again, he begins to lose it. It plays out the same as it did last time. I explain that this is the best we can offer. He throws a fit, wants to speak to a manager. Again, managers are not there to apply better discounts. Sometimes we do have something called a documented promise, where if in the notes someone was offered something, say $50 off, and it didn't go through, we can still apply it. He could have lied and said he accepted it and it never went through, and the documented promise policy would have made it so we had to give him that discount. In this case, because Fred and I both wrote in the notes that he declined that offer, it was gone for good. I once again transfer him to a manager and stick around to hear the fallout. The manager did not budge, told him the same thing, that $15 off was the only option, and once again, it ends with him hanging up. I unfortunately never figured out what happened with Mark's account, but here's what could have happened. 1. He's still paying the in-market price for his services, which is a lot more than what he was paying before. 2. He accepted the $15 off and is still paying more than before. Or 3. He canceled with us and moved to a competitor. One less problematic, rude, and entitled customer. Moral of the story, be nice to the other person on the phone. If you're nice, an agent will most likely be more than willing to go above and beyond for you. If you're a jerk, in my case at least, I'm doing the bare minimum for you and will definitely not bend the rules for you. Again, most agents can't do that anyways, and in this case, I had access to these discounts most likely by mistake. You should still be nice to the person on the other end of the phone, regardless. If any of you guys have talked to agents over the phone, have you ever experienced a situation where you found yourself getting actually angry over the phone with the agent? Or do you think that it would ever be possible for you to actually get angry over the phone at an agent? Let me know in the comments down below. This next story is by MGMR's No, We Don't Have Cocktails. Some years ago, hubby and I moved to another country where culturally, service is not a priority. Very different from where I come from. We'd barely arrived and decided to celebrate by going out for a nice meal to a restaurant recommended by a friend. We'd been forewarned that the service standard was bad in general, so we came with a low bar. The meal was nice, the service okay, low expectations prevent disappointment, and the conversation was really good. We were excited about our new adventure and happy to finally be there, so we decided to follow the meal up with a cocktail since the restaurant had a fully stocked bar. We called the server over to order, and the conversation went something like this. Husband says, "Hi, we'd like to order some drinks, please." The server says, "Okay, sure, what would you like?" Husband says, "For me, a glass of red wine, please." Server says, "Okay, and for you, miss?" I say, "I'd like a gin and tonic, please." The server says, "No, we don't have cocktails." I say, "What do you mean? You have a fully stocked bar." Seriously, this was a big, very complete bar. The server says, "We don't have cocktails." I, flabbergasted, said, but you have everything you need to make them, right?" The server says, "I wouldn't know. We don't have cocktails." At this point, I sit back in my chair while my brain tries to process the situation, then promptly sit back up, a malicious compliance light bulb going on in my brain. I say, "Okay, do you have gin?" The server says, "Yes." I ask, "Do you have tonic water?" The server says, "Yes." I say, "Perfect. Then please bring me a glass of straight gin, a glass filled with ice, and a can of tonic water." The server says, "Okay." I seriously don't know what they expected to happen, but they bring everything over, and then I proceed to mix my own drink at the table while making eye contact with a big grin on my face. And since the glasses were highballs, I actually got a double. It was hilarious to see the server huffing away. Yeah, I don't actually know why they wouldn't serve cocktails specifically. Maybe it was like a low-cost item and they want you to spend more or something weird. Maybe there's like a rule against serving mixed drinks or something, I don't know. Like, you feel like they would have some kind of clear-cut explanation as to why they can't serve it, but in the end, the server walks away all huffy and stuff, so very clearly they must feel, I don't know, made a fool of or disrespected. Like they're visibly upset that the rules that don't make any sense weren't being exactly followed. It's like asking, "Do you guys serve chocolate milk?" They say no. "Do you got chocolate sauce and milk?" Well, yes. "Excuse me, do you serve macaroni and cheese?" No, we don't. "Do you have macaroni noodles and cheese?" Well, yes, we do. You're just sitting there like, oh yeah, this is a big brain moment. But with that being said, that's a wrap on another bunch of stories here today. As always, if you guys have any favorite videos of this bunch, let me know which one in the comments down below and why. And if you enjoyed the stories in general, if you could subscribe to this channel, it'd mean a lot to me. I make these videos daily, and it's by far and away the best way to support my channel. So no matter what you did, whether it was subscribing or liking, leaving a comment, I just appreciate the heck out of you guys. And as always, I'll be back tomorrow with even more stories right here on the Storytime channel.